Now that James Gunn has released his first chapter, Gods and Monsters, it's time to look back at what was the DCEU, and especially what was the Snyderverse, but in particular, the Knightmare scenes. This video goes back and puts the Knightmare scenes in chronological order and how they make sense to the overall storyline. This video is the Knightmare Theory. To understand the Knightmare sequence, we have to go back to the roots.
I said, now when you think of the word roots, you think of either the roots of the tree or the roots of hair, where it originated.
No, not like that. But back to BVS, when we first saw the Knightmare sequence during a dream sequence that Bruce Wayne was having in the Batcave, as he was trying to decrypt the information that Wonder Woman's computer was not strong enough to do. When we see this sequence, we see Batman alone coming out of the bunker, and he sees a apocalyptic Gotham City, a world ruled by Darkseid. But where are the metahumans? That's right, there are no metahumans here. There is no Justice League, just human rebels fighting to take the world back from Darkseid. Now, if you ask me, this is a glimpse into the future that he was set on before the Flash goes back in time and warns him about the future. So essentially, as the Flash is coming back in time, Bruce is able to tap into the future that was awaiting him. A future in which he did not assemble a Justice League, a future in which he did not have metahumans on his side to fight against Darkseid. But this would all change the moment the Flash shows up in the Batcave to warn Bruce about the future. This sent him on a different timeline that in which he would assemble a Justice League. Now, when we jump to Zack Snyder's Justice League, we see that Cyborg also has a vision of the future. But this vision is an AI-generated version of what the future could be. But it's very precise, even as a dead Kilowog in front of a broken Hall of Justice, which is such an awesome scene to see in live action. The AI is trying to warn Cyborg that by resurrecting Superman, these events are going to take place, and it's doing its best that it can to generate a vision of what could happen. When we jump to the actual Knightmare sequence in Zack Snyder's Justice League, we see that this time Bruce is surrounded by a Knightmare Justice League that consists of Deathstroke, Mara, Flash, Cyborg, and he's even brought along the Joker to find the location of a mother box so that they can use that power to power the Cosmic Treadmill and send the Flash back in time to warn the others. But before they can, here comes Superman. He lands down and lasers the hell out of the entire Knightmare Justice League. But it begs the question, if Bruce is having these visions in a dream sequence, again, he's learning from each sequence that he sees. He learned from the first one that he needs to assemble a team, not to mention Barry kind of told him to, find them and all. But he realizes that he needs to have a team in order to fight the war against Darkseid. So this time he has a team. But it's still not enough. But the Joker gives him a clue. He inadvertently tells him what Bruce actually needed to know. That Lois Lane is the key.
To help you undo this world you created by letting her die. Poor Lois.
How she suffered so. I often wondered.
How many alternate timelines do you destroy the world? Because, frankly, you don't have to culminate to die yourself.
But Bruce has to learn the hard way. As the story goes on into Justice League Part 2, Darkseid would later boom tube into the Batcave and kill Lois Lane with the Omega Beams. Batman, helpless to stop him, watches Lois Lane die, which in turn breaks Superman's will, and Superman succumbs to the anti-life equation, becoming a slave to Darkseid and helping him take over the world and acquire the anti-life equation. Now this would lead us back to BVS. Now we know in the BVS scene in the Batcave, Barry showed up too soon. He showed up at the wrong time. The next time he's sent back, he tells Bruce exactly what he needs to hear, and shows up at the correct time, right before Darkseid kills Lois Lane in the Batcave. He tells Bruce to save her, that he has to save Lois Lane. And if you're following the storyboards, that he's also the father of her son, but we know that got changed. By telling Bruce that he has to save Lois Lane, it causes Bruce to go into action, break through the glass, and take the Omega Beam to the chest in order to save Lois Lane, because she is the key. And that was hinted at by the Joker by saving Lois Lane. Superman shows up, doesn't see Lois Lane dead. Instead, he fights Darkseid. Darkseid leaves. He goes around saving the rest of the League from the Legion of Doom, inspiring the world. He would have united all of the world's armies to help in the fight to stop Darkseid from taking over the world and acquiring the anti-life equation. But on top of that, we would have gotten the entire DC universe coming together. We would have gotten Martian Manhunter joining the fight. We would have gotten the entire Lantern Corps, the Suicide Squad helping out, Diana and Hippolyta leading the Amazons into war, Aquaman leading the Atlanteans into war. The entire DC universe would have came together to stop Darkseid in an epic battle that would have been tremendous to see on the big screen. So there you have it, guys. That's how all the Knightmare sequences fit into place. Guys, what do you think about the story that would have been the war against Darkseid with the DC Universe coming together? And how do you feel about the way I put together all the Knightmare sequences and how they fit into the overall storyline? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member and joining us over on Patreon to support the channel. And I'll catch you guys next time.